Frank Gehry wasn't just an architect, he was the man who made buildings feel alive. And today, the world is mourning the loss of a true visionary. Gehry has died at the age of 96 at his home in Santa Monica, after a brief respiratory illness. A quiet ending to a man whose work shook skylines around the world. He started life far from the fame he would one day earn, born as Frank Owen Goldberg in Toronto, later moving to Los Angeles, where he slowly found his voice in architecture. But that voice was different. When others built straight lines and safe shapes, Gehry built emotions. Curves, twists, metal that looked like it was floating. He wanted buildings that felt human, and it all began with something shockingly simple: his own home. A normal little Santa Monica house. Gehry tore it apart and wrapped it in metal, plywood, and chain link. Neighbors hated it. Critics were confused. But this messy experiment announced a new revolution. Buildings could break rules and still make you feel something. The world didn't truly understand his genius until 1997. When the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao opened, a titanium wave rising from an old industrial port. The building transformed an entire city, turning a struggling town into a global destination. People called it the Bilbao effect, proof that architecture could change an economy. Overnight, Gehry became one of the most famous architects on Earth, and he didn't stop. The Walt Disney Concert Hall in Los Angeles, a shining sculpture where music and architecture flow together. The IAC building in New York, like a crystallized sail catching the light. 8 Spruce Street, a residential tower that folds and ripples like fabric frozen in midair. Every project he touched refused to sit quietly. His work didn't blend in. It demanded attention. But fame never came without criticism. Some said his buildings were too wild, too dramatic, more like giant sculptures than functional spaces. Others believed they were built just to attract tourists. Gehry rarely argued back. He once joked that people really thought he designed by crumpling paper and copying the shape. For him, creativity was play the same energy he had as a child, stacking scrap wood in his grandfather's shop. Through it all, Gehry stayed busy well into his 80s and 90s. Museums, concert halls, university buildings. Even tech campuses like Facebook's. He earned every major award in architecture, the Pritzker Prize, international medals, lifetime honors. Yet he always said he didn't enter architecture for fame. "You go into architecture to make the world a better place," he once said. The ego comes later. His journey was personal, too. He changed his name from Goldberg to Gehry after facing anti-Semitism early in his career. He struggled in school, found clay before finding buildings, survived family hardship, and used creativity as a way to make sense of a chaotic world. And maybe that's why his buildings look the way they do: imperfect, emotional, full of movement, full of life. Frank Gehry leaves behind his wife, Berta, his children, and a legacy etched into the skylines of Los Angeles, New York, Paris, Bilbao, Berlin, and so many more places. But more than anything, he leaves behind a new idea of what architecture can be. A building doesn't have to just stand. It can bend. It can twist. It can breathe. It can make you stop, stare, and feel. Frank Gehry is gone, but the world he reshaped will keep telling his story for generations.